Explanation of the book, Stop Overthinking. Nick Trenton. The book Stop Overthinking by Nick Trenton is a practical guide to overcoming the problem of overthinking, which can turn into a major obstacle in a person's life, as it prevents him from making decisions, increases his stress and anxiety, and makes him feel constant mental exhaustion. In this explanation, we will provide a detailed analysis of each chapter in the book and review all the ideas, examples, and strategies mentioned by the author in great detail, with the addition of real-life examples that illustrate how to apply these methods practically. Introduction to the book. Why do we suffer from overthinking? Nick Trenton opens his book with a fundamental question. Have you ever felt that you are thinking too much about things that are not worth this much thinking? He explains how the mind, despite being the most powerful tool a person possesses, can become his greatest enemy if he does not use it wisely. Thinking in itself is not a problem, but when it turns into a constant state of anxiety and overanalysis, it leads to paralysis in decision-making and consumes mental energy to no avail. Why does it happen? Overthinking. 1. Fear of failure. Overthinking is often the result of fear of making mistakes. 2. The search for perfection. When we want everything to be perfect, we spend a lot of time analyzing without taking any action. 3. Lack of self-confidence. Believing that we are not qualified to make good decisions drives us to overthink. 4. Influenced by society. Constant comparisons with others make us feel that we need to overthink before taking any step. Chapter 1. How does overthinking affect your life? 1. Analysis paralysis. Overthinking makes us paralyzed in decision-making, as we find ourselves immersed in analyzing every possible option without being able to choose. A real-life example. Ahmed got the opportunity to start his own business, but he kept thinking about all the potential risks to the point that he never started and ended up in the same job he hated. Solution. Use the 5-5-5 rule. Will this decision affect me in 5 minutes? Will it affect me in 5 months? Will I care about it in 5 years? If the answer is no, then you are wasting your time thinking. 2. Destroying happiness. When we overthink, we live either in the past, remembering mistakes and regrets, or in the future, worrying about what might happen, which prevents us from enjoying the present. Real-life example. Layla invited her friends to dinner, but she spent the next day thinking about whether they had fun or not, and whether her food was good enough, instead of enjoying the moment. Solution. Focus only on what you can control, not on the opinions of others that you cannot change. Practice mindfulness meditation to bring your attention back to the present. Chapter 2. Practical strategies to stop overthinking. In this chapter, Nick Trenton presents a set of techniques that can be applied to control the mind and stop overthinking. 1. Transcript technique. When you find yourself stuck in a thought spiral, take a pen and paper and write down everything that comes to your mind without restrictions. You will discover that many of the thoughts that control you are not as important as you thought. A real-life example. Sammy was anxious about a job interview, so he wrote down all his worries, then reviewed them a day later, only to find that most of them were illogical. 2. The 80-20 rule. 80% of your problems come from only 20% of your thoughts. Focus on the most important thoughts and ignore the rest. 3. Time-limited thinking technique. Set aside only 10 minutes a day to think about your problems, then stop completely after the time is up. This will help you gradually get rid of overthinking. Chapter 3. Reprogramming the mind to break the cycle of overthinking. 1. Control external stimuli. Negative news and social media feed anxiety and overthinking. Set limits on information consumption and only follow what benefits you. 2. Reprogram the mind with positive thoughts. When you find yourself thinking about worst-case scenarios, try to replace these thoughts with positive alternatives. Example. Instead of "I will definitely fail," say, "I may face challenges, but I will learn from them." Chapter 4. Breaking habits that feed overthinking. 1. Face fears instead of avoiding them. Running away from making decisions only leads to more overthinking. Take small steps toward your goal instead of trying to plan everything in advance. Stage 2. Focus on action instead of analysis. When you feel like you're overthinking, do something practical to break the cycle of thinking. Example: if you're thinking too much about a new project, take a small step, like creating a simple plan or talking to someone who's had a similar experience. Chapter 5. Living a calmer, more confident life. 1. Acceptance and surrender. You can't control everything in life, so accept that some things will happen outside of your control. 2. Practice making quick decisions. Don't strive for perfection. Make the best decision based on the information available at the moment. Conclusion: how to stop overthinking forever. 1. Be aware of your thoughts and don't let them control you. 2. Focus on action instead of drowning in constant analysis. 3. Use strategies like the 5-5-5 rule, journaling, and mindfulness meditation. Lesson 4. Don't seek perfection. Focus on continuous improvement. So, author's final message: the mind is a powerful tool, but it can become a liability if you don't use it wisely. Stop overthinking and start living your life.